All right, 357 Magnum versus 44 Magnum, and what I have today is the Buffalo Bore lower recoil ammunition. The 357 Magnum happens to be considered a tactical short barrel, lower recoil, low flash, but it's still considered low recoil. And it's rated at 1321 feet per second, or 542 foot-pounds. By the way, it is a 140 grain XTP. So it's still in the range of a normal 357 Magnum, but it is marketed as low recoil. So I think it would still perform real great in this 4-inch barrel, especially because it is using an XTP bullet. The 44 Magnum also is an XTP bullet, and out of 4-inch barrels, and that's what I said the rating was out of this. Out of a 4-inch barrel, this is rated at 1225 feet per second, or 800 foot-pounds energy, and it's a 240 grain XTP. And this is pretty much the same power level as about like your Hornady custom 240 grain. However, just because the exterior ballistics lists the same velocity doesn't necessarily mean we'll have the same recoil. It might be a little bit reduced recoil. You just never know what kind of powders they're using. So what we're going to do, we are going to do a wood penetration test. Let's see how far each of these will penetrate. We're going to go through our chronograph. We're going to see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time. We're going to do our clear ballistics test here from Clear Ballistics, 10% FBI equivalent gel. We have 4 layers of denim. We're going to see what we get in our Clear Ballistics gel with this round. We're also going to fire from 25 yards, see what kind of practical accuracy they have. And we still have our Juggernaut box test. I know a lot of people were upset thinking I'm not going to do this anymore, but I'm still going to do it from time to time. Not every video, but we have our 1 3/4 inch pack of bologna covered by 4 layers of denim, followed by 1/4 inch medium density fiberboard, which kind of simulates like ribs or sternum, and into water jugs to catch these bullets. So let's get started with the test and see how these 2 rounds compare to each other. All right, I'm about 5 yards from the target, 4 yards from the chronograph. This 357 Magnum is what we're going to test first, and it's rated at 1321 feet per second out of a 4-inch barrel. Let's see how close we get to 1321 feet per second out of my 4-inch barrel. 1318, 1302, 1355, 1349, 1343. So I think we're pretty much spot on with the rated velocity to what I actually got. Let's see how the 44 mag compares. All right, 44 mag, we're rated at 1225 feet per second out of a 4-inch barrel. Let's see what I actually get out of my 4-inch barrel. 1256. I really pulled that one. 1279. I'll read. 1250 run. I'll only run a couple more rounds. Well, let's get a couple more here. I'll read. 1255. No read. Interesting. It's kind of pulling a little bit to the right for me for some reason, so I didn't get quite enough reads, but that'll do for now. Let's hit our ballistics gel with 357 and 44 mag and our Juggernaut box and see how they compare to each other. All right, first up we have our 357 Magnum. Let's see what this will do on our ballistic gel. All right, our damage path goes to about 19.5 inches, and our leading edge of our bullet is about 18.5 inches. We drifted up. There's a pedal missing, and we had a lot of damage up here in this block. Pretty impressive damage. Let's see how that 44 Magnum compares in the gel. All right, 44 Magnum. I flipped that gel block around. We'll see what this does. All right, so here's our bullet. Our leading edge is about 22 3/4. Our damage path goes about 23 1/4. So definitely more penetration there than the 357 Magnum. Our damage up here looks pretty similar, to be honest. But we see right about here, right about 10-11 inch mark, our 357 Magnum is a little lighter. It started losing that momentum and kind of, drifting, as where our 44 just kept moving forward. Let's hit our Juggernaut box and see how these two compare to each other. All right, let's hit our Juggernaut box and see what the 357 Magnum does. I got hit with that baloney. All right, so here's where we impacted our fiberboard and here's where it exited. So that definitely does indicate expansion. Considerable amount of damage with our baloney pack. It blew about half of it away. Let's see what we got in water jugs. And in our gel, we had about 18 to 19 inches penetration. Here's jug 1, jug 2. A lot of damage. Jug 3. There's a mark out the back of jug 3. When I get a dent like that, that's kind of a halfway dent, that indicates about 18.5 inches. And that's exactly what we saw in our gel block. Let's see what we got here. And this is kind of the difference you see in my testing versus just plain ballistics gel, because this is what would happen hitting actual rib cage in a human body, where we're going to have jacket separation, fragmenting a little bit of that bullet. Interesting. Let's see how the 44 mag compares. All right, 44 mag. Let's see how this does. I knew that was going to happen. That's why I put my hands up. Well, here's our baloney pack. Not considerably more damage, but our expansion through our fiberboard definitely has a lot more. Let's see what we got in water jugs. All right, our penetration is about 23 inches when we look at our gel block. Now our first jug, massive amount of damage. Jug 2, a lot of damage. Jug 3, yeah, impacted in 4. There's a big dent out the back of 4. That would typically indicate about maybe 19 inches in comparison to gel. And what we got here is really quite perfect expansion. Now, if this bullet is bigger than the one in the gel, then that would definitely explain a difference in the water penetration versus the gel, because obviously you penetrate less when you're got a larger diameter, but that's really good. Let's hit our wood block and see how these two compare to each other. All right, let's hit our wood pack. 357 mag, 44 mag. Moved that whole table a lot more. All right, so here we are. Our last board is actually split, and I can see a bullet right here. It's hot. I was thinking it would be. What we have here, 44, 357. Went through the first one, obviously. A second one, and out the back of board 2 and entering board 3, we have our mangled up 357 here. But our 44 hit the fourth board, went almost all the way through it. We're only about 15% more to go, and it would have been out and into this piece of wood up here. So a lot more penetration with that 240 grain 44 Magnum. Huge difference there. Very nice. Okay, let's hit our gong, our 10-inch gong at 25 yards and see what kind of ump these have on my 10-inch steel gong. All right, 357 Magnum from 25 yards. I'll see how I can do double action. They're shooting a little bit high for me, so I think 2 of them went over the top. Let's see how the 44 compares. 44 mag, let's see what this does. Well, that's different. Over the top. So as we can see, considerably more with that 44. But I have to be honest here, the recoil on this felt about twice as much as that 357 Magnum. It's not brutal, but it's definitely a lot. Anytime you go up to 240 grain, you seem to get a lot, even if your energy isn't necessarily that high. Like if we had a little over 800 foot-pounds on a 180 grain, there would be less recoil. And the same thing goes for 357 Magnum. If you're talking 158 versus a 125, you know, your 125s typically have a little bit less recoil. But very good ammunition overall. Pretty impressed with both of them. They did pretty good. So that's what you get today between Buffalo Bore 357 Magnum lower recoil, and the 44 Magnum lower recoil. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.